People tend to yearn for a place to call home. For Michael Geng of Washington County, where 46% of all households live below the Alice household survival budget, he finally found his place at Genesis Church, a place where he's both a member and diligent employee, and on one mild Friday afternoon, had a chance to sit down and learn more about his life.
I do know that I was born a crack baby, unfortunately, addicted to drugs. My birth mother was on various narcotics and whatnot, and that affected me. Born with a hole in my heart, so my early childhood, I understand, was spent in some hospitals until that. My understanding is it healed itself after a while. I don't know exactly what age I was. So somewhere between 2.5 and 5, I was pulled by the local DHS and bounced around from foster home to foster home. I mean, I had a lot of mental health issues. I had a lot of I was ADD, ADHD. If it had an abbreviation with alphabet, I probably was diagnosed with it. And I went off the deep end a little bit mentally through 7th and 8th grade, and then kind of came out, I call it coming out of the fog around my freshman year.
So you say you struggle with some mental health issues. Yeah. Where did the physical ailments begin coming in?
So I blew out my knees in high school playing sports, and then in my 20s I tore my back. Like one of the muscles in my back actually split. And I never quite healed properly from that.
Right. So now, like you say, you just live with pain.
Yeah. I was on Medicaid for a while, and they got me onto some pain medicine that helps. And unfortunately, I had to jump through hoop because of the opioid crisis, and that was very frustrating. So it took about 10 years to get approved for pain medicine, simply because of the opioid crisis, and that helps. But it doesn't, according to the pain doctor, the only way to be pain-free right now would be to be dead.
Alice situations of economic stress can lead to feelings of despair, mental health struggles, and limited access to support. Strengthening financial stability and access to resources can help reduce this risk. This was part of the appeal of Michael's eventual church home, Genesis. So let me ask, when did you find this church, and why did you know it was home when you got here?
Genesis has a transportation ministry. If you can't get to church and you live in Fayetteville, you work it out and they'll come pick you up. That we have buses, and they had a community breakfast and food. I was food insecure at the time, so it's like that's a win on a win. Mm-hmm. I started out as a volunteer, and then the week that COVID hit, I was offered a volunteer stipend. And a lot of that was in the AV stuff. I would do prep for Sundays with all the AV stuff, the slides and the music, getting all that ready. And then COVID hit and shut everything down. And they're like, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of you. And so I did that. And then I became part-time. And now I'm full-time on staff. I'm communications, AV, and administrative assistant. And I do anything that's needed to be done in the background.
As far as situations now, how are your finances? Or is it in a better situation?
They are better. It's always better when you're working full time. It is a struggle a little bit still. As I've made more money, I've lost my Medicaid. Medicaid, through all the hoops that you had to jump through, I can honestly say it saved my life. Before I was on Medicaid, I didn't have medical insurance. I had a heart issue I didn't know about. I had diabetes. I was a pre-diabetic who became diabetic, and thankfully Medicaid saved my butt. And so I've lost it. I don't make enough that I can join the church's medical. They do offer medical, but it's a deductible I cannot meet.
I learned what Michael is experiencing is called the cliff effect. It's when an increased income triggers a disproportionate loss of government assistance. A person may suddenly become ineligible for subsidized food, housing, healthcare, or childcare, leaving the family worse off than before receiving the increase in funds. Unfortunately, this is all too common in Alice households. Despite this unforeseen setback, I asked Michael what his future aspirations hold.
I'd like to continue my education in some form or function. I don't think that I'll ever be able to afford a degree, but if I could get, just take classes or, whether it be at NWAC or U of A, to just continue. I've always enjoyed, I didn't always enjoy school, but I've always enjoyed learning. And so I would like to continue that in some form or function. I'd like to get my weight under control and try to get my health. I do require a couple surgeries on my back, but no, they won't touch me until I get my weight under control.
Time to heal the mind and strengthen the body sound like great goals to me. Let's hope in the future, Michael can find a space to make that a reality. Till next time, yeah.